What up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are at. I just want to welcome y'all to our first. Is this our first ever? Well, it's not our first ever, because we've done a few reactions to the Nintendo Live Directs, but this is our reaction to the Xbox. What was the official name, Morgan?
Xbox X
It was.
Series X.
It was. Oh, here it is. It was Inside Xbox presents first look Xbox Series X gameplay. Of course, it was hosted by Xbox and Microsoft. Before we really begin, I am your host at Flow My Hero, aka Flow, aka Call Me What You Want, just don't call me lazy. And I am joined by
Y'all know who it is, Metro Meta. Let's just get into it.
right. So Xbox they started their broadcast really talking that talk. They said we're not taking the summer off regardless of the coronavirus. We're still producing out here. And it was by Matt Booty. He's head of Xbox Creative Studios. He said, even though we're in the midst of the pandemic, all of our studios are producing and games will be on time. Morgan, do you believe that, or what were your thoughts when he said that?
I mean, it depends. Xbox is a pretty. There are certain studios I know are capable of working in quarantine just because they're already like built out to be more like modular and just built out to be capable of working from long distances. One example of that would be like Ubisoft. They run like multiple studios all over the world. Like I think their new Assassin's Creed game had 15 studios working on it.
Yeah,
So I think Xbox they probably have the infrastructure to be able to work and still continue to deliver their products. Um, it's just gonna and we got like they got a couple months to get them all finished, and hopefully a lot of them were getting close to the end by this point in time.
yeah.
So they should be fine.
One of the key things that I noticed that they did not say, they didn't say if the games were Xbox exclusive. Like none of the
None of them
games here.
are. None of
Yeah.
them are.
So let's just hop right into the game. So Xbox, they showed 14 games in total. There were 14 games in total from a plethora of, what are they called, companies or digital creative
Studios.
studios? Yeah, studios. And one of the things that I've noticed was that they weren't really standout games to me. There wasn't really a game that was like, yo, I gotta get the Xbox for this. The one of the things that I realized that they did was they started off really strong with showing up the games. Like they started off with Bright Memory Infinite, and
Which
then
looked nice.
yeah,
Uh it looked like whatchamacallit. Back to the Future. Did you
yeah,
hear on Pets that was made by one person?
yeah. I don't believe that.
That is crazy.
Yeah. But so they started off with Bright Memory Infinite, and we're gonna get through the rest of the games. But they started off with Bright Memory Infinite, and by the time they got to Bloodlines 2, everything after that just started to fall off. Like just like not even just like the graphics fell off, but just like the storyline and the plot of the game really just like
Well,
didn't really impress me as like, because if this is Xbox, like, yo, this is here, we're making a statement. I wasn't really moved by the games that they showed. Like the
you
Ascent, I
gotta
was
remember these are launch games, and launch games are notoriously never good.
right.
The thing, like, do you probably don't know the launch games of like the PS4 and the Xbox One, but like the two main launch games of that was like Rise, Son of Rome, for Xbox, and 19 wasn't 1984. It was like 1868 or
Yeah,
something
it
like
was like
that.
a World War II game or something.
It was
Uh
like World War II vampire game, but
yeah.
nobody talks or plays those games anymore.
Speaking of vampire games, how did you feel about Bloodlines 2, The Vampire Masquerade?
Let's go in order first. Let's go.
Okay, yeah. So
Mention.
Bright Memory Infinite, what did you think about that?
That looked impressive. They said that was made by one person.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, one person can make a game like that. I've heard of like games like that. There was a Final Fantasy 15 like game that was being developed by one man. But it seemed like he worked at a studio, so it seemed like they were just being jerks to him. Like, why is
Right.
he working on this on his own if he works at a studio? It looked interesting. Just the time travel stuff alone will give it a lot of like enemy variety, which will be good.
Right. So I was a fan of Bright Memory Infinite. It was a great way to kick off their gameplay. I think it'll do well on the
Yeah,
Xbox Series One.
it's the best one to show off like the graphics because it's
Yeah.
graphically it had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Uh, next
Next
up,
uh,
they had Dirt 5.
so
We
I'm
don't
not
play a lot of racing games.
So I am a fan of racing games. I would be a fan of Dirt 5. I don't know if I would play it on the Xbox, especially since I'm more of a PlayStation guy, but it looks salvageable. It looks serviceable. Looks like it could get the job done for a racing game. I wrote down that they're going to be having real life racing tracks, so they'll be in China, New York, Arizona, Brazil. So that's something to look forward to. Your mentor in the game will be voiced by none other than Troy Baker, and your nemesis will be Nolan York. So they really brought the guns out for this one.
Now, what I'm looking for, Marcus, I don't know about you, but when I look for like a console launch, you look for a game that's going to sell and you want to hit like pretty much every genre that somebody's going to want. Because if you're buying this console, they're going to purchase it and then they want to be able to play the games that they want. So you want to get a racer, you want to get a shooter,
Right.
Which COD usually fills that in. So you usually don't have to worry. You don't normally go for like a horror on launch, but it seems like they are. And you want to go for a fighting game, but I'm not seeing a fighting game.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
That's what they're missing. And platformers, they're not as powerful as they want to be.
And I think they'll have a fighting game. It'll just come in the future.
Yeah,
but I think they'll have a fighting game by launch. I just think that probably the studio that was working on it wasn't ready for this event. Moving on,
could just be they don't think it's much of a selling point anymore.
Yeah,
like platformers.
Yeah. So next up, you talked about a horror not really necessarily being a game that that you use on launch, but they have Scorn.
No, I didn't like this game.
Yeah, I wasn't really impressed by it. I wasn't
gross.
really impressed by it. But I see
Dramatic story, gross.
I see how it would appeal to others. Next was Chorves Rises 1.
Now this looked interesting because
Yeah.
this looked like a space fighter, which we don't get a lot of those anymore.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think I wrote down trying to see. Oh, it was the studio behind it is Deep Silver and Fish Labs.
Deep Silver's pretty. I think they're the ones who make they the ones who make what you call it? The Saints Row game? No, they're not. But they're owned by the same thing. I think they're both owned by THQ Nordic. No.
Okay.
THQ was pretty big. They're getting pretty big.
I actually wouldn't mind playing Chorus Rises 1, but I don't know if it would be on the Xbox.
Next up, filler game Madden 21.
Yep, and they had a Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes in there really saying like, yo, I'm excited to play Madden 21. And
I mean, they pay him off to do that every time.
Yeah, and it's funny just because when you look at Patrick Mahomes, if you know anything about him, he puts ketchup on his macaroni and cheese. So him being an Xbox guy was not surprising. I even posted a tweet saying it's not surprising Patrick Mahomes is an Xbox guy. Like, it doesn't really shock me. But next up is a game that I actually will purchase, Bloodlines 2, the Vampire Masquerade. That looks really good. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
it. The
I was
plot
excited
looked
for that.
the plot really. I actually thought you wouldn't like it just because it'll deal with gore and horror. So for you to say you liked it, I was really surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Outside Xbox, and they love this series. So, like, I'm used to this series, so I am excited to see this game. I feel like it was supposed to already come out. It might have been delayed or something, but I am excited to see Vampires the Masquerade 2. I'll probably either get on PS4 or PC.
Yep. Next up, Call of the Sea. Wasn't a fan of it.
This might be their platformer, if you're asking me.
Yeah,
This
yeah, it
reminds
probably
me
is.
a lot of Firewatch, Journey, that sort of walking sim genre, which it is nice to see that getting more of a hold in the AAA scene.
Yep. Next up was The Ascent. I was okay on it. Like it's
This was the only
serviceable.
game that actually showed gameplay, though, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
It's a top-down shooter, which I don't think anybody saw coming.
Right. Yeah, and another thing they talked about, it was gameplay, but it was more just trailers. Uh
Yeah,
Possibly, hopefully we'll see actual gameplay on the Xbox Series 1 X in the future. But yeah, I was really disappointed in that they were just showing the trailer.
yeah.
Moving on, the
Next one is
medium.
Medium. This is definitely trying to reach that PT crowd that never got what they wanted.
Yeah. I would play it. I wouldn't want to purchase it though, but I would like GameFly it, but I wouldn't want to purchase it. Next up was Scarlet Nexus. I thought that you would like that a lot.
Yeah, I did like it. Looks it reminds me a lot of sort of Astral Chain.
Yeah.
The monster design is very interesting. I'm wondering where they got the ideal flower monsters. So that's definitely on my list of games to at least check out. Bandai Namco can be a bit hit or miss sometimes, so I'm interested to see what this game is gonna get.
Yep. Second Extinction Reclaim Earth.
No,
It's all right.
no, no.
I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't play it, but I get why they did it.
Now this
Next,
next game is interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, like a
this is
dragon.
by Bandai, correct? Yes.
No,
No.
Sega. Sega publishes these.
Okay. Sega did Yakuza.
Yeah,
I thought it was
Yakuza.
Bandai.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yakuza is like it's all of them are on PS4. It's mostly a PS4 franchise because if you've seen, probably haven't, but if you see the sales of Xbox in Japan, it's hilarious. So the fact that they're finally putting a Yakuza games both on PC and Xbox is good for more people. This one, it might be a bit more controversial. It's taking more of a turn away from traditional Yakuza. Like I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's gonna have turn-based combat as opposed to the action combat it used to have. I saw laser in the trailer. So it's gonna be very interesting to see just how people overall feel about
And
Yakuza.
this is one of their launch games. Like they said, hey, this is going to be not only available for the Xbox on launch, but it'll also be available for PC as well.
Yeah, Xbox, PC, PS4, probably most likely PS5, definitely. So this
Yeah.
is definitely gonna be the first like game to rack it in.
And the last game, of course, hopefully you saw the trailer last week. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Valhalla. Okay, that makes sense. Valhalla. And it's based on Viking times. They're getting away from the Mediterranean.
Now they said this was gameplay, but it was really just a trailer.
Yeah, it really was just a trailer. I would purchase it, but the only thing is it's a lot like God of War game, and I still haven't played God of War yet. So it'd be on the back. It wouldn't. I'm not rushing out to get this game, but it does pique my interest.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so I'm very interested to see what they do with this game.
Yeah, that
Overall,
was.
Marcus, how would you rate this?
I would actually rate it 6 out of 10.
I'm
Just
giving it a well, it's not as bad as a Bethesda one, but it's
yeah,
not very good. It's not a very good showing,
yeah,
especially considering Xbox coming into this. They've been doing everything right when it comes to marketing. They were
right.
even people have been criticizing PS4, saying they're not doing everything right. going into this, they were like, yeah, now we're finally getting games. And honestly, I'm pretty deflated. Like, I was sort of excited for Xbox before this, but now I'm just like, oh, these are all just. And again, I don't think it was a good idea to show third party games first. Like, they literally just said,
Right.
welcome to New Gen. Here's a bunch of games you'll get on every
And they
other.
also said, and they also let in with the expectation that we would be seeing Xbox exclusives.
Well,
But
they did say that. They did say that this was specifically just for third party, even before this.
yeah,
But
um,
you like, I think this goes back to what Joe Budden said about the J Electronica album. If this is your beginning, if this is the start of your gen, the first games that they're gonna see, and you're putting somebody else on the line, that's not looking good to me.
yeah. It really one of the things I give them credit for though is any of the games that come out before launch, you will be available to re-download them again on the Xbox Series. So
Some of them, the ones that had the
yeah,
smart thing, which I is something I'm very excited about. I don't think it needs, like, they're giving it a fancy name and they're building it up like it's brand new technology. I don't feel like it was all that difficult to put into the system. Just like, oh yeah, now it knows you bought this game and you can download it to your Series X. I don't think it took all that.
right.
But then again, that's just me. Um,
That's it.
overall,
Oh, we have any last thoughts?
so they're doing their showing of their exclusive titles in July, I
July,
believe
yeah.
they said. And there's a couple of game shows coming out. Overall, maybe I'll give it like a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Not very exciting. There's only like two games in that whole lineup I would actually purchase. Except for maybe you can add in Valhalla, so like three, but that's not even for me. Just watching Xbox, they tend to. I don't know if you watch their E3 things, but they tend to just throw in a bunch of stuff and hope that enough of it catches on. They really didn't have that. They didn't have that legendary game that's gonna sell everybody on this. They didn't
Right.
have Beyond Good and Evil 2. We didn't see anything from Cyberpunk in this.
Yeah.
It really just seems like they were like, these are the people we could get together. Like, these are the people who had nothing to do. Because a lot of these games look like they're marketed towards niche audiences that aren't going to be watching these anymore. Like, racing fans already know Dirt Rally 5 is coming out. They already have that in there. Horror fans are already going to be looking at the medium. So these are all games that they have specific marketing cues. And I think this is just them trying to get as many fans as possible while telling their core fans, "Hey, we're coming." And it doesn't overall. I feel like the marketing for Xbox wasn't as good as it should have been, and the marketing for these games wasn't as needed here as it is.
Right, right. But yeah, no, that's about it. Thank you for joining us. Once again, I am at Flow My Hero, at Metro Meta. Follow us on all social media platforms under those handles. Follow the brand at 26 and Glencoe Media Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course. If you're watching this, we're on YouTube. And until next time, peace.
All right, everybody. Y'all know who it is, Metro Meta and
At one Marcus Flowers.
and we'd like to thank you for watching and listening to our content. We'd like to thank you even more if you leave a like, a comment,
Subscribe, definitely subscribe. We need that. Subscribe, subscription.
and don't forget to share with all your friends and tell us how you feel.
And tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you got it from 26 and Glencoe Media Network.
Keep it real.